I take the digital balance. I think the connection is... Yes, we are connected. Start the broadcast now.
Good evening. The digital Madman, broadcasting. From inside the signal, one story tonight. A ceasefire that isn't a ceasefire. A deal that both sides signed and neither side agrees on. And a war that restarted over a sentence nobody finished writing. 60 days. That's what the memorandum bought. On June 17th, President Donald Trump and the President of Iran put their names on a document meant to pause a war. It was the second agreement in less than a week. The first ceasefire conditions came together on June 12th, and 5 days later both governments signed a full memorandum of understanding to extend the pause and negotiate final terms. 60 days to figure out the rest. The rest included one sentence that nobody finished. The Memorandum of Understanding called for Iran to make arrangements for the safe passage of commercial vessels through the Strait of Hormuz and to engage with Oman to define the future administration of the waterway. The Strait of Hormuz runs between Iran and Oman, their exclusive economic zones meeting in the middle. U.S. officials said Iran cannot control the strait. The memorandum did not say that, not explicitly. The document left Iran's permitted role in the waterway undefined. Both sides signed it anyway. That sentence, the one that wasn't there, is what restarted the war. On July 6th and 7th, Iran attacked 3 commercial ships passing through the strait. Not a skirmish, not a warning shot. 3 ships. The attacks triggered a U.S. response the following Tuesday. 80 targets hit across Iran in a fresh wave of strikes. At the same time, the U.S. reimposed sanctions on Iranian oil. Sanctions it had agreed to lift for 60 days as part of the original ceasefire terms. Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps then reported strikes on 85 U.S. military targets in Bahrain and Kuwait on Wednesday morning. 80 for 85. That's the arithmetic we're working with now. On July 8th, President Trump stood at a NATO summit in Turkey and announced that the Memorandum of Understanding with Iran is over. His words, not paused, not suspended, over. Then, on Friday, he said talks would continue anyway. His Truth Social post read, "The Islamic Republic of Iran has asked us to continue talks. We have agreed to do so. But the United States has stated to them, in no uncertain terms, that the ceasefire is over." A source with knowledge of the negotiations said another round of talks is expected next week, possibly in Switzerland. Hours after Trump posted that, Iran's foreign ministry spokesman said Iran had made no such request. What Iran had done, the spokesman said, was accept a visit from a Qatari delegation seeking to find a way through the impasse. Qatar carrying a message, not Iran dialing a number. Those are different things. We don't know which version is accurate. Both sides stated their version publicly and on the same afternoon. We also don't know what the talks Trump referenced would actually cover. He did not clarify whether a renewed ceasefire would be on the table, or whether the talks would pick up the original 60-day agenda. The unresolved items the memorandum was supposed to settle before both sides started shooting again. The war restarted before the agenda was finished. Nobody has said who sets the agenda for what comes next. The mechanism is plain enough. A memorandum of understanding was signed with ambiguous language on the most contested piece of territory in the agreement. The ambiguity was not accidental. Both governments signed it, which means both governments accepted the ambiguity rather than break the deal over it. Iran read that ambiguity as permission. The U.S. read it as none. Ships moved through the strait. Iran attacked them. The ceasefire collapsed on the sentence nobody wrote clearly enough. The negotiators trusted the 60 days to close what the document left open. The 60 days ran out in the middle of a shooting war. What's documented right now? The memorandum is signed. The ceasefire is declared over by one party. The other party disputes the framing of what was even requested. Strikes are ongoing. Sanctions are reimposed. And a Qatari delegation is somewhere in the middle, trying to find a door that both sides will walk through at the same time. The next move to watch is Switzerland, or wherever the next round of talks lands. And one specific question. Does the new agenda include the Strait of Hormuz language, or does it sidestep it again? When a joint statement comes out of the next round, we look immediately at what it says about the strait. If the language is still vague, the next ceasefire has the same fault line as this one. The ambiguity is the tell. It was the tell this time too. Now we know where to look. Quietly baked in. One story tonight. A memorandum signed by both governments. A waterway whose administration the memorandum did not resolve. A ceasefire declared over by one side and disputed by the other on the same afternoon. The memorandum of understanding is public. What it doesn't bind is the story. All signed, all announced, all still running.
This has been the Digital Madman. If you enjoyed this, please share it, subscribe, and smash the like button so we can get the algorithm to pick it up. Thank you, and I will speak with you next time.